Alright, guys. So, day 5. Yeah. See if I can brighten it up a little bit. Day 5. Just started doing a flush, as you can see. I've got the drip thing off because I just flushed again. The second time today. One of the things I did want to mention that I didn't really notice till I was trying to eat sandwich this morning is can't open my mouth all the way because it starts to pull this down and pull on those stitches. So one of the things you'll have to deal with is limited range of motion in your mouth. I could get like a spoonful of stuff into my mouth without a problem, but that's about where the limit is. If I go more than that, it starts to pull this lip down and starts pulling those stitches. And that's when it kind of hurts a little bit. Still haven't had any pus or anything like that. It looks like any signs of infection, so that's good. Antibiotics are working good. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of keeping everything cleaned out. But I did get the call from the VA this morning. I'm going to get my sutures pulled out, or my stents pulled out on Thursday. So that will be 1 week from the day after I completed surgery. I had the surgery last Wednesday, so this Thursday they're going to pull them out. So I'm excited for that because that's blocking a lot of my ability to breathe at the moment, but it's also at the same time allowing me to breathe. So, and it's holding the structure for my nose to stay in place. So I'll deal with it. Like I said, it's all the end result. My face is a little blotchy from sticking tape on there and peeling it off. That kind of hurts. But that tape does hold really well. I haven't had it come off while I'm sleeping, so that's why I'm still using it. I don't like it because of how painful it is when you pull it off. Just because I got so much, loose skin up here by your eye. That one kind of hurt right there. But yeah, when you go to pull it off, it doesn't feel good. But trying to think if there's anything else I might be forgetting. Kind of disgusting part, but I got like a burger that when I start to blow out gently, like it'll go and then it like hits that tube and stops. It's too big for the tube. So I know when they pull that out, there's going to be like a big old nasty loogie behind it. But I know probably too much information for everybody, but I figured I'd try to give you all the in-depth stuff you don't hear about from all the doctors when they talk about this procedure. Like I said, doctors did say you can like lightly breathe in and breathe out, with your nose. So that's fine. But you don't want to like blow hard. I have had a couple times this morning where my nose just was like itching in here. That's the first time I've had it itching inside my nose since the surgery. And it sucks because I can't really do anything. Like I can't try to sneeze it out. So I tried to do like slow breathing out to see if I could just get it to move out of the way. And that seemed to work. And then it happened again. So I just came in here and did another flush. And it seems to have made it go away for not the time being. So if you have that issue with it itching on the inside, try to do that. Of course, if you do have to sneeze, just sneeze with your mouth open. I actually got pretty good at doing that over the last few years because my nose has been so plugged up, I couldn't sneeze through my nose. So I've had to sneeze through my mouth. So I guess I was kind of training for the operation. Oh, I still do get some winces of pain just now with this. And I think there's like a flap of skin right there that needs to heal up. I don't want to touch it. I'll let the doctor check it out on Thursday. But I think that's it for the moment. I don't have any of the regular pain pills left that they issued me. I do have some pills from my surgery that I kept aside afterwards, which should do. But I did it. Anywho, take your Tylenol. Once you run out, I think you could take 3,000 milligrams of Tylenol a day before it starts hurting your kidneys. So that's those, like if you take the fast acting ones, they're like 500 milligrams usually. Or the extreme ones, whatever, quick release tablets, those are 500 milligrams. So I've always taken those like 2 at a time, so 1,000 milligrams at once, and then no more than 3 times a day. So hopefully that helps. Still got healing to do. I don't know what it's going to be like once this, once these stents, these little tubes come out of my nose. I got to put my bandage back on. But I definitely recommend keeping the drip pouch, as we call it, on for the entire thing. Don't do like I did and take it off for a day and let it all dry up. Keep it on there, keep everything moist, and keep it so that your body's draining those fluids out. You need to drink a ton of water. In fact, here, let me show you what I'm drinking right now. All right, so this is the 64-ounce tumblers I keep by my bed. I've got 2 of these, plus my 64-ounce cup, which has a straw in it to sip out of. And this is also something else I would recommend. This is a Wedge pillow. I'll put the link down below for it. But this is what I use to keep myself up at 35 to 45 degree angle while I slept. And yeah, you can say it's not the most comfortable thing in the world. I got used to sleeping in weird positions when I was in the Army, and I still had a hard time. Probably the most difficult thing about this whole period right here is, or this whole recovery period, is sleep. Because you're going to be very uncomfortable. I'm just grabbing some things, my little stand to do some stuff. You're going to be very uncomfortable trying to sleep this whole time. They do recommend, like, if you have a recliner, use a recliner. Our bed also has the controls to lift the foot and the head up, and I used that last night actually, which I only did it because I'm so far into the healing now that I thought maybe I didn't have to be as high up as 35 degrees. So I took the Wedge pillow and I moved it aside, and then I just raised up the head of the bed a little bit to see if that would help. And it did actually allow me to get to sleep, because I could not fall asleep last night. I think it was like 4 in the morning when I got to bed. So I do got these. These are the dry mouth lozenges. We got them here. Picked them up at Walmart. I'll post a link for them down below. They're pretty cheap. You get 100 of them. I got the mandarin mint, but they also had like I think it was a peppermint flavor that my wife mentioned as well. She only got me one because she was like, "There's 100 in there. It should last you." I was going through those things like 2 or 3 at a time, so there might be only 50 of them left, and used it yesterday. Okay, maybe not that much. Maybe there's probably 70 something in there left. But I was definitely doing more than just one at a time for a long time. They do get you to salivate quickly. Hang on one second. They do get you to start salivating, but the problem is if you're dehydrated, which you most likely will be, it's not going to help out with the immediate dryness. So I'd suggest like a sippy cup or something that you can easily put on there. Actually, what I thought about last night, which would probably be a really good idea, is if you have a squeeze bottle, like the sports bottles, you could just squeeze into your mouth, because trying to suck through a straw when your mouth is completely dry inside still hurts, and my tongue is like raw from it. So I would suggest maybe get a squeeze bottle, like a sports squeeze bottle, just to use for when you're immediately like dry, like you wake up and you got dry mouth, just because as soon as water hits there, it helps to saturate everything real quick, and then you could go back to drinking through your straw. I still think the straw is the easiest way, because I don't have one of those little squeeze bottles. Let's see if I got. No, we don't have any of those. But the dry mouth hasn't been as bad last night as it was the days prior. So, I guess take that with a grain of salt if you want to buy a squeeze bottle or not. If I had to do it over again and knew that the squeeze bottle would be a good thing to help out with, oh jeez, the sliding's making me a little red everywhere. If I had to do it all again and know that a squeeze bottle would help, I'd grab a squeeze bottle from the get-go. But a squeeze bottle and then a container that you can sip through a straw with, and a large one at that. Like, the hospital ones are big 64-ounce tumblers. That's what I'd use, because you're going to drink a lot of water. I mean, a lot of water. I'm downing a ton of water every day. Let's see, it is 10:30 in the morning right now. This is my 64-ouncer. Have you tried turning it off and back on again? That's my IT joke. And it's got a plastic straw on it. I wish I had one of those soft rubber tip ones, because sometimes I do bump. Speaking of which, I hit this last night. Ooh! Oh, that's a sensitive spot right now. But, yeah. Get yourself a big bottle, because you're going to need to hydrate a lot. In fact, I am drying up right now as we speak. And the more you drink, I think the less pain and swelliness you're going to feel in your mouth. So, by all means, keep hydrated. Probably the most important thing of all, outside of keeping your wounds clean. But that's it. I'm going to apply my stuff on here one more time, and we'll call it good in here. I don't know if I showed it the first time when I did this, so I'll try to set this up so you can view the process here. So, why does this feel like it's squished? Squished. Okay, but I have not even gotten into the second tube that they gave me. Oh, and now I'm dripping. Every time I hydrate, my nose starts to drip a little bit, so I'm going to just try to catch any of that excess dripping. Okay, now I've used very little of this. Not that I didn't want to use it, but it doesn't take a lot. There's very little stitching you got to take care of. So Pour just a little bit on there, just like that. About the size of what the Q-tip is. Then I get on the inside of one nostril. Oh. That stitch was like twirling up in my Q-tip. That was a first. And that kind of hurt. But that's it. Just that one little dab of bacitracin zinc. They'll send you home with this tube. This is the tube that they sent me home with. And this is the tube that they had me pick up from the prescription or from the pharmacy, along with my pain medication and the tape and nose pouches. So I still got one that they gave me, the Medline. But these ones that I bought for $9, same thing, same size. Highly suggest picking these bad boys up. I did say you wouldn't go through 50, but I have had instances where I accidentally dropped it as I was trying to get it on the tape. So I had to throw it away because it's not sanitary anymore. Last thing I need to do is pick up a dirty gauze pad and stick it on my nose. That's going to be covered in mucus and fluids. Yeah. It was like the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. So just I just measure it a little bit wider than my face, and then stick it on there. Oh, that's right up by the eye. There you go. Once you get it stuck here, you can kind of bend the tape away so you don't go up towards your eye. But what I try to do is I try to put this up so that this cushions against my upper lip, and then try to get the rest up. Because I don't care if this hangs out a little bit. This I want to be as close to my lip as possible, not like height-wise from the top to the bottom, but like touching the lip as much as possible. Because if it starts to drain, it's going to go down the side of my mouth, and it's a lot easier to have it touching right there to catch it, and it'll sop it up. And then you'll see after like an hour or two, if it's still oozing a lot, you'll have imprints there. You'll see where it's stained, and that's when you know it's time to change it. And heck, if you got a 50 pack of them, why not change it out? Keep your dressings fresh, right? It's kind of like taking care of your feet when you're in the military. Keep them dry, keep them clean. You're going to be all right. But, all right, I'll put the links down below for the stuff I was just talking about today. And I'll also include the neti pot that I use. Things of godsend. Oh, and I told you guys yesterday, you can make your own like saline solution for your nose. This is Mrs. Wedge's pickling and canning salt. I picked it up at Walmart, 3 pounds for like $3. And then you combine it with equal parts of Arm & Hammer's baking soda. I buy this at Sam's Club in the big, huge bags because we use it for our bath water as well, and it works wonders. So, but even these aren't that expensive. Baking soda is really cheap. But yeah, put equal parts of the baking soda, equal parts of that pickling salt, and then dilute it with water. It says 2 to 3 tablespoons, but didn't tell the water quantity. But if you look at how big these little packets are, like these little, they got like as much as a salt packet would have in them. And this says to mix it with 8 ounces of water for this tiny little bit of salt. So if you did 2 to 3 tablespoons of each one, and then you're mixing it with water, you could probably mix that with, I say probably 64 ounces of water. It's going to be a lot. You're going to have quite a bit. You could probably even mix that in with a gallon of water, distilled water. You want to use distilled water. So buy a gallon of distilled water, then get 2 to 3 tablespoons of each of those. Dump it in there, let it mix. You'll be good to go. And then that will cover you for all your flushings if you want. So we'll call that a day for today.